Many of the job seekers ask me, is cover letter necessary? The answer to this question is yes. You should have it ready. Whether you are sending it with your resume or no, it totally depends on the requirement of the employer. Though it's not a crucial document, but it's equally important as your resume. To make it more humanized, today I'm going to share my tips with you. Some employers clearly mention in the advertisement that they need resume along with a cover letter. At that very time, you cannot just sit and start writing down your cover letter. It's always good to have it handy. I would encourage you to watch this video till end because I'm going to share a sample of a cover letter as well at the end of this video. First, we'll begin with the mistakes that we must avoid while drafting our cover letter. The first thing is you don't have to make it very long. Cover letter has to be maximum 3 to 5 paragraphs. Now, the second thing comes is how to draft these paragraphs. You have to straight away get to the point because this is the first document of interaction with your potential employer. So you don't want to send them an essay which they find boring. The first paragraph of your cover letter should have your qualifications, your objective, and the skills that you're offering. In the second paragraph, it should be your reasons for interest in this position. And third paragraph has to mention that why an employer should hire you, why you seem to be a right fit for this role. You have to write the summary or these 3 to 4 paragraphs compelling enough so that the interviewer or the potential employer gets convinced to read your resume in detail. Time is a big constraint. They hardly take a minute or less than that to go through resume and cover letter together. While sending your cover letter, make sure that you address it properly. Sometimes we don't know who the job poster is, and if it's just a recruiter, you cannot write to the hiring manager. If you don't know the name, I would recommend you to write to whomsoever it may concern rather than using the recruiter or the hiring manager or dear sir, dear madam. You don't know the gender or anything. The best way is to write to whomsoever it may concern. Now, the fourth point that you have to keep in mind is make your cover letter in line with your resume. Your resume has to be equally or more excellent than your cover letter. It should not be that the 3 paragraphs you've written in a great way, and when somebody opens your resume, it is a complete disaster. I will share my tips of resume writing as well. There is a link in the description for how to write your resume, what points to consider. Have a look at that. Also, I will share my blog about job search if you are trying to look for a job, how you can make it better. So it's worth having a look at that. My last tip for you is when you are done with drafting your resume and cover letter, check for typos and make sure if you have inserted your LinkedIn URL to either of the documents. You can either insert it in your cover letter or in your resume. But giving them a LinkedIn link is very important so that they could review your profile at a professional level. Now let's go towards showing you a sample of a cover letter. Let me show you how to draft a cover letter. A cover letter essentially needs a heading, cover letter content we'll talk about, and also we'll talk about a cover letter template. It's not necessary to use cover letter as an extra document. You can always mention the content in an email to send your application. So when you start with the cover letter, the first name has to be your name, then comes your address. Make sure you put your contact details with the country code, your email address, and LinkedIn URL, which is totally optional. The second step is the date, then comes your hiring manager's name. You should always put the company's name and company's address if you are applying overseas. Now let's look at a cover letter template. In the cover letter template, you should always begin it with your name, your contact details.
If you don't have hiring manager's name, always it's a good idea to put whomsoever it may concern. In the first paragraph, you should mention about your industry experience and your expertise. Second paragraph should be your qualification and any additional certification if you have done. The third paragraph should portray that how you have contributed to the business growth in the past. Then lastly, you should always thank them for evaluating your application and also mention that you are looking for a positive feedback.
I hope you found this video useful. If you're new to my channel, do hit the subscribe button and do press the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my career tips. Also, you can read more about my career blog at www.outdoorswithnena.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn and let's keep learning from each other. Thank you so much.